Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Utility Sports. In today's video, we're coming at you with our Week 11 college football predictions and pick'em. Of course, this is a series we've had going on the channel now for over, I think, 4 or 5 weeks now at this point. We're really excited to be bringing Week 11 here at you. There's some really, really great matchups as we get closer down to the end of the season. Some teams have some real big test games this week. And also, if you're new to Utility Sports, we'd love to have you be a part of the crew here. So much that we're doing a free jersey giveaway, a Justin Fields Chicago Bears jersey. We're giving it away to one of our lucky subscribers. So you got to smash that subscribe button right now, leave a like on today's video and a comment. Those are the three things you must do to be entered for that jersey giveaway. Austin, Week 11, we've got some really great matchups here. We're starting off with a really good one that's going to be on ABC at 11 o'clock. Michigan Wolverines come in at 8-1. Their only loss this year to an interconference rival, the Michigan State Spartans. They come in 8-1, facing off with Penn State. The Nittany Lions are 6-3. They've been up and down all year long in the top 25, find themselves just barely on the outside looking in currently without a ranking. Do you think that there's any chance that Penn State, who's been up and down this year, gets the job done against Michigan?
Yeah, it's a tough game for Penn State, but they are at home. That's one of the toughest places to play in all of college football. Going into Penn State and getting a win is no easy task, regardless of the situation. James Franklin, there's been a ton of rumors about him potentially taking the USC job or potentially the LSU job. So there's a lot of controversy there, a lot of speculation on where his future lies, whether that's with Penn State or another big time school. But I do like Michigan in this game. I think it is going to be a tough task for them, but it's going to be all about running the football for them. They have two dynamic backs that will really be able to put the team on their backs and really win this game. So I do like Michigan on the road. Once again, I think it's going to be a close game. However, I think they edge them out and beat Penn State.
I think Michigan just has a little bit more talent on that roster. We've seen it all year with how it's played out. That's why 76% of America up to this point has picked the Michigan Wolverines, and we suggest you pick them as well in your fantasy pick'em leagues if you're playing this weekend. Moving into our next matchup here, we've got the biggest test of the season for the Oklahoma Sooners, who are the 8th ranked team by the college football playoff rankings. Despite their 9-0 record, they haven't played the toughest competition up to this point. They've won all their games. They beat the teams they've had to beat, but they haven't looked phenomenal throughout it. Spencer Rattler was shaky to start the year. Caleb Williams has come in, and they've looked like a better team since then. The only game that's really been super close that was concerning was the Kansas game, and they still won that one by 12, put up 21 fourth quarter points in that game. And this is really the big test game that really, if they go into Baylor here and win this matchup against the 7-2 Bears, that will go a long way for that team. Baylor's coming off a loss against TCU, an unranked opponent who had Jerry Kill as their interim coach, former coach for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So Baylor's, obviously coming off that loss is in a situation where they're going to have to try and figure some things out because that really hurt their seeding and their chances at getting a very good bowl game. A win here for them would be huge as well against Oklahoma. Austin, do you take Baylor at home here?
Yeah, I definitely thought about it in this game. I just like Oklahoma. I think Williams is too talented. I think this roster is really, really good. I do like the mojo that they have going on right now. They're 9-0. I think they're going to keep it going. Baylor has been a competitive team. They're better than a lot of people were giving them credit for heading into the season. I didn't think at this juncture they would be ranked number 12 in the entire nation. I am going Oklahoma in this game. I think Caleb Williams gets the job done.
While we're on the topic of Caleb Williams here and the Sooners, I want to talk a little bit about Spencer Rattler. Clearly, the Sooners are not going to look backward here, and they're going to continue moving forward with Caleb Williams being their long-term starter. So that puts us in a little bit of a trap situation for Spencer Rattler. Does he look to transfer? Does he declare for the draft this year, or do we see him back at Oklahoma next year as the backup quarterback? What's your thoughts on him as of this current situation?
I think there's no chance that he ends up back at Oklahoma. I believe he will be looking to transfer. But I think there's a pretty good chance he still might try to declare for the NFL draft. I think the people around him will advise him to go back to college. I think that's really how he can save his draft stock heading into this upcoming year. So for me, the biggest betting odds would be that he transfers somewhere. Another big time school is going to take a chance on him. So that's what my expectations are heading into this year.
He has to be one of the biggest names to watch for in the transfer portal this coming offseason. Moving into our next matchup here, we've got another really, really good game here. The Purdue Boilermakers, who played upset this past week in a massive win over Michigan State. They go up against the Ohio State Buckeyes, looking to make it 2 weeks in a row that they can play upset here, Austin. Is there any chance Ohio State falls into a similar trap that Michigan State did?
is where Purdue has been so up and down this season. But the crazy thing is they've played spoiler for top 10 teams, which is just crazy. They're a team that can really, you don't want to overlook them because they're sneaky good. They've had a couple of weird games that they dropped this year, but they are better than they're given credit for. And it shows in those big time games that they've played spoiler. I do like Ohio State at home yet. I'm kind of nervous about picking Purdue once again. For them to pull off 3 victories like that would be absolutely incredible. I just don't see it happening this week.
That would be insane to go back-to-back weeks here playing upset. I think Ohio State probably gets it done as well. However, Purdue is going to be a lot more competitive than I think a lot of people are giving them credit for. Going into our next matchup here now, we've got a lot of really great games this week, and I think this is another headline here. 2 Big Ten programs, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, ranked number 20 by college football playoff rankings for the FBS. Then we're looking at the Iowa Hawkeyes here, who are 22nd, formerly number 2 in the nation by the AP Top 25. 79% of people are picking them and their home stadium here. Austin, do you think the Hawkeyes walk over Minnesota, or do you think Minnesota's got an underrated chance in this one?
Yeah, I don't like Minnesota in this matchup, especially since they are in Iowa for this game. Minnesota looked terrible, unfortunately, against Illinois. That's a game that they had to win. They will be falling in the college football rankings when it's updated today. So I do like Iowa here at home. I'm not really confident in Minnesota's pass game. A lot of their RPO and stuff has not been working like it did in 2019 when they had 2 star receivers in Rashad Bateman and Tyler Johnson. This team's just not built to win these kind of games. I think Iowa's going to wear them down in the run game as well. Minnesota's defense is underrated. However, I have a ton of concerns about their offense.
Definitely those concerns will play into this one, especially on the road. You're going to need to be able to keep up with the scoring offense there that I was going to put out on the field. Minnesota is going to probably be playing from behind in this one, and we'll see if they have enough to get it done. Austin goes with Iowa in this big time matchup this week. Moving down into our next one here, we've got a team, or a matchup rather, of 2 teams that we haven't really talked too much about here on the channel, Austin. UAB, the Blazers come in to marshal the Thundering Herd and take them on. This is going to be one of those interesting matchups I don't think a lot of our viewers know too much about for these teams. So break down this game. What are you looking for from these 2 6-3 programs?
Yeah, I think that it's really there's a chance that one of these 2 teams gets ranked after this game because you'd be looking at a 7-3 record potentially. They're going to be borderline. They're going to be in that top at least 30 discussion. I don't know if they're going to crack that top 25. I'm actually going to take UAB on the road, a team that had lost their football program, regained it, and they've looked really good so far this season. They just beat Louisiana Tech in convincing fashion. I do like them still on the road.
The Blazers getting the job done here, and Marshall is going to be huge for any resume that they're trying to build. Like you said, that 7-3 record this year with how the top spend might be enough to sneak in to that top 25. Sliding into our next game here, another really, really great matchup, perhaps the best matchup of the week, honestly. We've got the Texas A&M Aggies, who have had some really big wins this year, including a win over Alabama. They've also had a nice win over Auburn, I believe it was. So they're a team that's got a lot of talent, especially DeMarvin Leal on that defensive front. We know what he and Green on the offensive line. Some really good players, and Ole Miss likewise has that kind of talent. Matt Corral probably going to be the first quarterback off the board. You've been talking about that for pretty much this entire college football season. He's a real slinger, can get the ball out quick, has a good arm to him. Does it become 2 weeks in a row that Matt Corral shows his draft stock and really improves his play, or do the Aggies go into Ole Miss and win this one?
This is really going to be about home field advantage. I do like Ole Miss at home here. I think Texas A&M is a tough ticket to try to beat. Zach Calzada has looked phenomenal so far this season, and Isaiah Spiller as well. This team is very, very talented from top to bottom. I do like Matt Corral and Lane Kiffin getting it done at home against the Aggies. So this is actually, once again, we're going to be picking the upset instead of going with the favorite here.
For those of you interested on the channel, we do have an NFL mock draft. Make sure you go check it out if you're interested in learning more about the NFL draft prospects after this video. Going into the very next game here, we've got another pretty solid matchup. The Virginia Cavaliers been playing really good football this year for that program standards. They're at 6-3 representing the ACC there. And we've got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who are the 10th ranked team currently. They're going to go up after their most recent win this past week, sit at 8-1. 92% of America has went with the Fighting Irish in this one. Austin, is this one that you shouldn't overthink?
Yeah, don't overthink this one. Take the Irish. I think it might be a little bit of a trap game for the Irish, but I think they get the job done. A lot of people in our comment section have been saying that this team, they're definitely pretenders. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think, around this ranking is fair for, who they are. I know a lot of people aren't in love with this squad, though.
Yeah, Fighting Irish, a little up and down in terms of their consistency week in, week out, despite that 8-1 record. Haven't really blown a ton of teams out, but they get the job done here, win in this pick'em style pick here. Moving into our very next game, we've got another really good one. Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons, coming off the highest ranking they've had in program history, did drop a game. And that's going to be huge here in this ACC matchup because you got the NC State Wolfpack, a team that I think has been underrated throughout the process this year. They come in at 7-2. Only 23% of America is picking them, even after Wake Forest dropped their most recent game. This game will be televised on the ACC network. Austin, which team here are you picking in this one?
Sam Hartman is top 5 in terms of passing touchdowns. I like Wake Forest in this game. They dropped one against North Carolina. They probably shouldn't have. It was a shootout. They came out the wrong side of it. I still like Wake Forest in this game. Sam Hartman has been so impressive this season. I like the Demon Deacons here.
Austin's riding with Wake Forest, expects them to move to 9-1. I think home field advantage probably going to be key for them if they do pull out the win this week against the Wolfpack. Sliding into our very next matchup as well, we've got the Nevada Wolfpack, a team that's kind of been flying under the radar this year. They've got some nice players who are going to be draft eligible this year, possibly some guys who go in the first round even, going into San Diego State to take on the Aztecs, who are at 8-1 this year. They've had a really, really good season for that program. They're sitting at 90% picked by America at this point. We're recording this, Austin. Are you opting for Nevada or San Diego State here?
I'm actually going to go with the 10% of America and go with the Wolfpack. Carson Strong, very good quarterback, arguably could be a first round selection. They're going to play spoiler here and knock San Diego State out, in my opinion. I do like the Wolfpack in this game.
Carson Strong is going to have a good game in this one. I think that he can get it done, though, on the road against the Aztecs. That will be a great matchup to watch there on CBS. And moving into our next matchup now, at this point, we've got the Washington State Cougars, who've produced a few NFL quarterbacks over the years. Of course, most of them backups at this point of their NFL careers, but still a notable program when it comes to producing that quarterback position. Going up against Oregon, who most recently did produce, of course, Justin Herbert, who's been amazing in the NFL. They're sitting at the number 4 ranked team in the nation, according to the FBS college football rankings. Coming in at 8-1, they had a huge win earlier in the year over Ohio State that kind of set everything up for this program. Do you agree with 97% of America here picking the Ducks?
I do. Once again, this is not one that you want to overthink. Don't try to play hero ball and take Washington State in this game. This team has not been the same ever since Mike Leach took off for Mississippi State to join the SEC. I do like Oregon in this game. I think they're going to handle Washington State with ease.
This has been our pick'em and predictions for week 11 of the college football season. Of course, a lot more to come here on the channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed, leave a comment, and also a like to be entered for that Justin Fields jersey giveaway. That could be yours, free to own, takes 30 seconds of your time to meet all the criteria. Again, hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, smash that like button, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.